Right then, and how can I help you today?
Oh, well, you see, I was hoping perhaps we could remove illagers from Minecraft.
I see. The best I can do there is add a mod that increases the variety of illagers in the game.
Oh, well, that's kind of the opposite of what I want.
Well, actually, it's not the opposite of what you want. This adds more variety. The opposite of what you'd want would be adding infinite villagers to the game. You just wanted them completely gone. So, pretty good compromise in between the two.
No, I was hoping for far less pillagers. Well, maybe you could make it so that their pillaging is far less damaging.
Don't think that's quite possible. I think instead we'll make it so the savaging and ravaging during the pillaging will be more brutal and more pillagers will show up at the ravaging.
Oh, that's no good. I was hoping for less of that.
Okay, how is this for a deal? I'll also make it so outposts look cooler and have more stuff going on at them.
Oh, I have nothing to do with Outpost, or I really hope to never have anything to do with the Outpost.
Also, how's this for a deal? I make it so I gain the powers of the Invoker. Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, this seems to just be your own weird ideas now, nothing with my original requests.
Also, I was thinking, let's add baby creepers. They're adorable, they've got little sprouts coming out of their heads. Everyone will love them.
I don't think you're even listening to me anymore, if you ever listened to me in the first place.
And there'll be this guy with a big sword.
I think that there's nothing to be gained by us continually talking.
Also, let's make it so there's a guy with an ice staff.
I think that I'm being completely ignored now.
And this other guy who throws the baby creepers as enemies, they explode. And we'll add this sort of jester clown goblin guy, and he'll be able to teleport and shoot fireworks out of his butt. And if you take him down, you'll be able to get his magic ice staff, which can summon blocks of ice.
Hello, are you aware that I'm even still here?
And maybe we should do something with phantom membranes, like make it so they're actually usable, so they can be combined with blocks to make new spooky blocks.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? Oh, well that's going to take a while. Susan, cancel my afternoon appointment. We got some chatting to be done. Savage and Ravage is a Minecraft mod by Team Abnormals. It is for Minecraft version 1.20.1 for Forge and Java Edition Minecraft. The goal of Savage and Ravage is to add and expand to the illager family. Savage and Ravage adds a variety of illagers, but it also expands creepers and gives them a deeper role in the game. Right, so one of the first things that has changed is you can now do something with the ominous banner. It is simply the task of lighting on fire and having it burn away. Now, I don't know why, but I was under the misconception that doing so would give you bad omens, but it appears not to. But you can light the banners on fire now, and that's kind of fun. Another thing that has changed is creepers now drop a new kind of item. If we are to kill the creeper and look at gunpowder, we collect that into our inventory, and we press R under it for recipes, then we go over to mob drops. We will see that creepers drop gunpowder, but they also drop creeper spores from Savage and Ravage. And creeper spores is a new throwable item that is also a recipe item. When thrown, a creeper spore will throw down a patch of creeper spores, which will summon all these baby creeper sprouts. Now, the creepers that you summon from the creeper spores will follow you because they love you, because you're their mother. And you can make them target entities that you have ire towards by attacking those entities, sort of sending them off like a one-use dog. But there's more that can be done with creeper spores than just summoning your own pet creepers. You can also combine them with 2 gold to create blast-proof plating. That is 3 spores and 2 gold. The blast-proof plating can then be combined to make armor. You can make all the various kinds of armor. So you can make a chest piece, you can make a helmet, pants, and legs. The shoulder pads are really nice because they're little creeper faces, and then the creeper helmet as well is nice because it's a little creeper face too. On a whole, it's a fairly nice looking set. It almost fully covers your body besides a little bit of your neck and arms, and it fits into Minecraft, which I always like. The Anomaly team's quite good at that actually, of making nice looking things that fit into the game. Also without any clipping from having hair, which is another nice thing for them to add. Sort of like a Centurion helmet on the back there, a little bit exposed, so you'll get kind of the nape of the neck, but besides that, it's pretty good armor. And it has some nice features to it as well. It is explosion damage reduction. So it has armor toughness, but then the explosion damage reductness, which is really nice. So if we look at the netherite chest piece, it is way better. Diamond armor is also better without the explosion resistant, but it does have toughness, which iron armor does not. So this is one step above iron armor, and the explosion resistance completely negates the damage of at least one piece of TNT, which is really nice. Another use for the blast-proof plating is to create blast-proof plates, which is a block type. There is the basic blast-proof plate block, there is the blast-proof steps, and the blast-proof slabs. They're actually, I usually don't go for the variety pattern, but these are a pretty good checkerboard. Green and gold are nice together, even the little creeper face is nice. The orientation being locked to one axis might turn some people off it, but I don't mind. I think this is some nice flooring and some nice tiling to make a brick wall, and it is blast proof, so it shouldn't explode, unlike the demo, which will explode. Now, as you saw there, one of the things that exploded was you can also store your creeper spores into a creeper spore stack. This is made just by putting it all together, and it basically creates a creeper store block. The block doesn't go off with redstone, and it is non-flammable. But it's a pretty block. You could definitely use this for some decorations, having the creeper face in that brown dirt. It's good. Another block that can be made is the spore bomb. It is like TNT, however, instead of gunpowder, it uses the spores, and this will summon a creeper spore pack in a non-thrown variety, so I'll go shaboom and just summon a bunch of creeper spores into the area. Produce quite a big amount of powder. Also, these creeper spores happen to be hostile towards you, so best wear your griefer plate to protect you from them, as these ones aren't your friends. And one final use for our creeper spores is they can be combined to make mischief arrows, which you can fire from any good, decent bow. And mischief arrows will summon a strike force of cute little creeper spores to go murk whoever the arrow hit initially. So with this arrow, single target shot will summon a creeper spore. If no target is hit, then the creeper spore will just be a friendly creeper spore. Or if you do hit something, then that will give those creeper spores a target to attack. So it's a little extra shaboom to your arrow. Now, I said that this mod expands illagers, and so far I've only been focusing on creepers. So let's look at the expansion to the illagers and all that is involved within that. The best way to look at this to start off with will be to look at the change to the outpost that was made. The pillager outpost has been modified slightly, changing its appearance into a much larger and broader and spookily building with more dangerous fellows in it. There is quite a much larger population of illagers around with pillagers, but there is also some other interesting things that have been added. There is the cages with the creeper spore bear bombs in them, and there is a creeper pit with a new illager in it called the Griefer. I guess this is where he's farming his little creepers to make his explosive powder with. New treasure chest and completely changed design, making it less symmetrical, more chaotic, kind of a more savage and brutal building for the illagers to dwell in. Also can see there is a new floor tile in here, which they use, which is the gloomy tiles. Gloomy tiles are made with phantom membrane and normal stone, and it definitely changes the atmosphere of their building. So they've got vindicators as well to act as some melee stooges, and their plans take over. The behavior of the Griefer is also fun. He, design-wise, like most of the abnormal team's designs, is really good. He's got a... well, that one's got a helmet on. I didn't even know they could wear that, and it's got an illager face. It's different than the normal creeper face. It's got a nose guard. So the normal one, it's got a little shoulder pad that's blast resistant. He's got a piece of TNT attached to his belt, and he's holding some creeper spores. And he's got an entirely different looking face. He's got like little tusks on his face, or something that looks like a mask. So when you're in survival mode, they will throw spores at you and have the little creepers aggress upon you now. So a little bit of a change to their behavior. So that is the new thing about posts, but it goes deeper than just changing the pillager and illager outposts. It also changes how raids interact with you. Raids now have a whole list and new group of illagers to go on them. So if we go to a perfectly innocent village and we trigger a raid, we will see some new kinds of illagers show up in the savage raid that is going to be done upon us. So we'll get new ravagers and savagers coming along. Of course, they're not called that, and there won't actually be any new ravagers. But that's actually what this guy's face looks like. He looks like a ravager, I believe. That's his face. So anyways, we have to deal with the raid, as all good raids are dealt with axe. And here we have one of the new kinds of pillager, and that is the executioner. He happens to have a giant sword, which he can drop and then you can pick up, and you too can get an absolutely giant sword. Really long cooldown swing, but it is the cleaver of beheading, and it's just a much bigger sword to wield that slowly swings around but deals a ton of damage. So that is one of the new kinds of illagers. He looks really cool. I like him with that big sword. Find out his proper name here, actually, which would be the Executioner. Illager, Executioner. Yeah, I guess it actually works name-wise. That's one of the things they have to be careful about the naming scheme. Let's see. We got Executioner. We got a Griefer. Yep. We got the Islager and the Trickster. So all those names, check out, they work for the Illager family. They have to have that at the end. Invoker, Pillager. Gotta keep with the branding. Nice touch of Team Abnormals to do that. They know what they're working with. That's why I love Team Abnormals. Some of their stuff is weird. Their documentation is terrible. Like, they have some of the worst documentation ever. But they make really nice looking mods that suit Minecraft, that fit the story, that fit the style. So you gotta give them props for that. Oh, I guess that the Ravager looks a little bit different than those guys. Kind of got similar things, but not entirely. Alright, this is a Witch Wave. Those are to be expected. The Griefers add a fun dynamic. I really like the Griefers. Everything else is pretty normal so far. Just got these guys running around with a bunch of buffs on them. Nothing much more to it. There's another Executioner. Like the Pillager, he put... Oh dear. So what's happening right now is gravity, which the Mischief Maker's doing to me, which is quite unpleasant. You can see him over here. He's a little jester fellow that's running around. So I guess I will clear out everyone else first. Then we'll go look at this guy. He can substitute himself for other illagers. That's really cool. So that there is the Trickster. He's got a little goblin mask to go on his face. And he summons all sorts of nasty magics to mess you around with. So he's just an extra added annoyance to deal with. Doesn't really deal all that much damage, but he does cause trouble. Little traps and various things. Got a good laugh too. Oh, that blindness is actually... Okay. He drops also Totems of Undying. So a worthwhile takedown. And there we are, victorious heroes of the village. If we look at them more in depth, we can find a new variety of illagers to look at. Executioner, who's got the white eyes behind that hood. He's very buff. He drops this big sword. We got the isolator, which we didn't happen to see that time. But it's this little angry fella here in the blue robes. And when you're in survival mode, he drops ice on your head. And sends out the cold effect, which is kind of just rude. So he's his own fun bundle of joy. And we've got the Trickster, who's this little teleporting goblin fellow, and the Griefer. The Trickster is also a little bit shorter, which makes him more of a goblin fellow. He's got some cool powers. The new enemies also drop some new items and one of the old items. So, the Trickster will drop the Mask of Dishonesty, which has 1 armor and can be worn on the face. And I thought it didn't do anything, but it does do something. That's pretty good. Okay. That is like super invisibility as well. That's fun. From the Isolager, you can get a Wand of Freezing, which basically to use, you point it at an entity, and then it will summon the ice cubes above it, and eventually they will fall and cause damage and freezing. And so you can just have them suspended over multiple entities. You can suspend multiple stacks over a single entity and have them cascade down onto it. And it's a new magical weapon. I like the ice's effect. I'm not 100% certain of this fitting into Minecraft, this ice staff. It is a magic item, and there are some magic items. Like the Trickster mask makes more sense to me than the Wand of Freezing. I don't know, something about it seems a little bit more magical than Minecraft allows. Even though there is the Totem of Undying, I don't know, it seems a little bit more far-fetched than other magic items. The Executioner's Sword, the Cleaver of Beheading, is just 12 damage, 0.6. And I suspect it probably has a slightly better chance of dropping heads from mobs that drop heads. And the final extra item that we happen to have from them is the Conch of Conjuring, which comes from the Invoker, which is kind of funny. Maybe it should be the Conch of Invoking. And what it does is it lets you summon the Bitey Mouths. And these things have range. They've got really good range. If you happen to look down and use it, it will do the Splash Bite around you. Or you can do the single line attack with it. And I like that a player can have this. And as an attack, I've always found that the Evoker's Crocodile Mouse to the ground fit Minecraft. I've never been a fan of the Vex. I feel like the Vex are less suiting to the game, but always like the Conjurer's attack. Cool sound effect, looks really cool. It's just nice to have. Right, and that is Savage and Ravage. It's a small mod by Team Abnormals. It's fun. It adds some cool stuff to it. I quite like this helmet. This is a slick looking helmet. I like the conch. Conch is fun. Creeper spores are adorable, let's be honest, and dangerous. It's an interesting touch. I'm not 100% certain how I feel about them. Maybe instead of the creepers dropping the spores, it's a craftable thing. I think I might like that better than just the creepers dropping it. Or you can only get the creeper spores out of defeating griefers. Don't know on that. But it's interesting. And the magic items are interesting too. The ice guy is fun to fight. I'm not certain about getting his staff the way it is. I really do like the conch though. The conch is cool. That being said, I always like mods that mess around with the illagers and do something creative with them that seems to fit the game. Because sometimes people try to do stuff with illagers that don't fit the game. Other times people do things with illagers that really do fit the game. And I find myself more and more thinking about mods and stuff that fit the game in some way or another. Or at least don't super deviate from Minecraft to the point where like this doesn't feel like it belongs even in a heavy modded pack, you know? But anyways, that being said, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to my Patron Blushfether, and until next time, goodbye.